Travel is often romanticized as the answer, right? Go on this amazing vacation, see all the sights, do all the things, and then you come back and everything is love and light and great and you're wonderful and everything feels so zen. But in reality, you come home and you're worn out, you're tired AF, and you feel like you've been so busy checking boxes, seeing things, doing things, that you haven't had a moment to pause. I did that for years. Maybe you have too. And there's a time and place to go hard, right? Like Disney World, Disneyland, that's one of those places where like we're gonna go hard. We're paying a lot, we're gonna go do all the rides. But if you're traveling to transform, if you're using travel as a way to create more meaning and purpose in your life, this is not the answer. Hey, I'm Jamie. I am the heart and mind behind Liminal Travel, and today we're going to talk about how to make your travel more meaningful and to travel to transform, not just to escape. And I think that's where I want to start. So, what's the difference between escaping and exploring? They look very similar, right? We're going somewhere, we're seeing things, we're doing things, and then we come home. But when we are escaping, we're using that as a distraction and as a way to avoid. When we're exploring, we're truly in relationship and communing with the place and being present. We'll get into that. Presence is key. Presence is awareness and being in the moment. And this is the key to travel to transform. Another thing to think about, when we're traveling, we are in a capitalistic society, and so we are reared to consume. We are consumers. We consume our planet, we consume food, we consume time, we consume people. It's part of what we do. Not that it's healthy, right? So if we can shift out of that consumer when we go on a trip, how can we take and get and receive, instead moving into right relationship? How can I go to this place? How can I appreciate what it has to offer? How can I honor the land and the people and the place? It's a very different way of traveling, and it's in relationship versus just like Pac-Man eating shit up. That can be exhausting. Also too, when we're traveling to transform, we often think, if I go here, things will be different. I'll be different. But wherever you go, there you are. One of the things that happens a lot in addiction circles is that people get clean and then they are like, I'm going to move and start over fresh. I love a good starting over fresh, at least in my mind. But then they go and move, and then the same patterns continue over and over again, because wherever you go, there you are. So same thing with traveling. We're not going to just automatically change, because change happens from the inside out. This is where the yoga of travel really comes in. Also too, travel, I think I mentioned this already, travel can be a way to avoid things that are going on in your life, but it also can amplify it, make it bigger. Anything that we avoid or shove down or try to run away from, that inevitably starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually it will come out, often in inappropriate ways and often under stressful situations, which travel, when not done mindfully, can be very stressful. I'm sure you've been there. Flight delays, things not going the way you wanted them to, things not going the way you thought they were going to go. If you are not prepared for those things and are not living with that right intention, you're going to get triggered. And that avoidance thing, that thing you're running away from, is going to rear its ugly head while you're on vacation with your family in a foreign place. So let me go over some things that help you to actually create change through travel. So the first thing first, before you even go anywhere or decide where you're going, getting clear about your intention. I've mentioned this like 5 times, and I'm telling you, it is the most important thing. Getting clear about where you're going, why you're going, what's the purpose of the trip. It seems like a lot of work, but once you start to do this, it becomes natural. I mean, I don't go anywhere without going through this process, because I know that it actually makes every trip more meaningful. And I know that we're spending money to go places and we want them to be good, right? And by good, I don't mean everything going right, but good in that I'm able to move through whatever's presented to me. So getting clear about your intention. Where do you want to go? Why do you want to go? And what's the purpose of it? The next thing is to slow down. Take a deep breath. Connect with where you're sitting. And these long pauses are intentional. You're probably bored. I've noticed on social media, if people don't talk really, really fast and keep moving and doing hand stuff, people get bored and click. They swipe, they're bored. Slowing down is key in the process of planning travel, especially when you get to the place. Hell, when you're driving to the airport, if you can slow it down. The key is to make enough time so you're not stressed. And if you have an itinerary that's packed full from one thing to the next, you're gonna be stressed. Time orientation, time management is stressful. So making sure you give yourself enough space. When I go to the airport, I give myself at least 3 hours at the airport from arrival, at least. And I know that seems like a lot of boring downtime, but that's important. So preparing to be able to have space to be still and slow down when you're on your trip, when you're making an itinerary of where you're going to go, make sure that you're factoring in big spaces between events. This is important. This will help you to slow down. It'll help you to not be stressed out. And also too, in the process of slowing down and you look at what's next on your trip of where you're going to go, you may not want to do it. This isn't in my list, but you might want to pivot. In the process of slowing down, you might realize, I don't want to do X, Y, or Z. This is not where I'm at right now. I'm going to scratch the whole damn thing and I'm going to do what I want right now. That is powerful and that could shift your whole trip. But if you are traveling like a tourist, you're more hell-bent on checking the boxes of where you've gone and taking the picture, consuming, right? I'm a consumer when it comes to pictures. I take lots of pictures, but you are consuming rather than being in relationship with. Make sense? All right, next tip, reflection. I like to book in my days. So when I'm on a trip, I'll start in the morning with my morning coffee. Depending on the day, I'm gonna either just sit and drink it, maybe do some breathing, maybe do some journaling, maybe light a candle. I'm gonna do some reflection about how do I want this day to go? What's my intention for today? There's a big macro intention of the whole trip, and then there's lots of micro little intentions. So I start my morning with intention, do my day, and then at the end of the day, I reflect upon what happened. And for some of you who don't travel like this, it might seem like more work than it's worth, but this is the part of integrating and making meaning that's really important. So bookend your day. That's a good tip. The next thing I like to offer you is ritual. Ritual is just a way to mark the passage of time. It can be as simple as sitting down, taking a deep breath, grounding and connecting with the earth. It could be you have candles and incense and all these different correspondence and you're calling upon all the gods in the pantheon. It can be big or small. It doesn't matter, whatever resonates with you, but another ritual is another way of slowing down and connecting with something greater than you. And again, instead of consuming, receiving. There is a difference. The most important part, I think, of travel, at least traveling to transform, is integration upon turning home. When you return home, don't just jump right into your life, right? Maybe you want to unpack, but don't jump right in. Don't start answering emails. Don't start making phone calls. Don't start planning your day. If you can, schedule it in to when you get home from your trip. Give yourself at least a day to where you can sit, reflect, and this is where we integrate and make meaning of what happened. And this is how we really start to shift and change ourselves from the inside out. All right, so here is a ritual I'd like to give you before you go on a trip. And this can be a trip to the park. This could be a trip to Sedona. It could be a trip to, I don't know, Jerusalem. Like, it doesn't matter where you go. So before you leave to go on your ritual, sit down, light a candle, write your intentions. So don't just think them. That's good, but write them down. There's something about pen to paper. Do not write them on your phone notes. It's not the same. There's something about pen to paper, and I'm sure there's research that tells us why the part of our brain gets activated, but write down your intentions before you go. It can be as simple bullet points, or it can be elaborate depending on. And then you're going to pull, if you have oracle decks or tarot cards, pull a card. This is divination to create more meaning. So pull a card, and rather than going through the book where it tells you what it means, really look at the picture and see what message it's giving you in regard to your intention. This is important. When we go and read the book to tell us what the card means, that's a way of consuming. We're consuming someone else's opinion about what this card means. Instead, look at the card, sit with the card, interpret the card from your own perspective. This is going to create more meaning rather than being told how to feel. And then you want to also reflect on, what am I ready to receive? What am I willing to release? Receive, release. When I go on this trip, what do I want to gain or get from it, receive from it? And what do I want to let go of? I think both need to happen. So if you enjoyed today's video and you got some meaning out of this and you'd like to dive further into it or have me assist you in planning a trip, that's what I do here at Liminal Travel. I help people travel through their life, travel on vacation, and create more meaning through ritual and ceremony. I have a free 15-minute phone consult if you want to see if we vibe and see if you want to work with me. Reach out, liminaltravel.co. You can go on there and sign up. Also, too, I have 2 spots left for my retreat in October. We're going to Joshua Tree. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be great. Thank you for tuning in. I love you all. I'll see you next week.